Hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to be talking about betting in the NBA, betting on NBA player props, and how to bet profitably in these areas. NBA has got to be the best league by far to actually make money betting. Football is kind of a trap. Soccer is kind of a trap. Baseball, you can get good at it if you know the players, but NBA has got to be the best league for betting. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So here's a math based on like for player props and what you need to be hitting to actually be profitable. So as you can see, like three mans are the best, 55% win rate. So you got to hit 55% of your bets to be like break even. So two mans, yeah, you'd have to hit like 58% of your bets to be break even. Four mans, you got to do 56.3% to break even. Five mans, you gotta be hitting 55% to break even. And this is on like a long time frame. So for like the five mans, it'd be like you put in like 20 bets. And if you hit, you only need to hit one of them, right? So if you're hitting 55% of your your picks, then you're gonna break even and over the long run. So this is kind of how the math works. As you can see, prize picks is kind of fucking you. Like the best thing on prize picks is the four mans, but I mean two mans are also okay just because they're gonna hit a lot more times. But the three mans, they're definitely ripping you off. Three mans on Dabble are a little bit better. Two mans on FanDuel are also the play. So like honestly, the best way to do it is on prize picks, you do two mans and four mans. Dabble, do three mans. FanDuel, you do the two mans. And yeah, abuse all the promos for sure. Anytime they're giving you out free money, like you're gonna take that shit. So definitely use all the promos. Like there's promos on Sleeper, Chalkboard, Prize Picks, FanDuel. They got promos on all of them. But this is kind of like how I'm betting on the NBA. I know it's not the NBA season right now, but I'm like looking at low lines. So low lines are like one strategy you can be doing. So George Niang at 6.5 points, Caruso at 6.5 points. Like during the regular season, the bench players like usually play a good amount, especially if they're up a lot or losing by a lot. If like in the fourth quarter, they're down 15, they're down 25. The bench players are gonna get a lot of minutes. So it's always good like to bet on the bench players during the regular season. Like in the playoffs, they're not gonna get as many minutes, obviously. But the bench players in the regular season are usually like good steals, especially if they're like 5.5, 6.5 points. Like they're professional basketball players. If they're getting 20 minutes and they're getting like five shots up, then we like them. Like, um, you really got to look at like how many shots they're getting up. So like how many field goal attempts are they getting per game? How many minutes they're getting per game? Stuff like that. Like when I'm going into an NBA bet, I'm going on FanDuel. I'm gonna look at the money line, who's gonna win the game, and then I'm gonna look at the total, and then I'm gonna look at the spread. So the total, say the total is like 220, and then the spread is like -10. So one team's gonna have 115, the other team's gonna have 105. Like that's the projections. So the team with 115, they're gonna be getting a good amount of points, and they're favored by 10. We're gonna like their bench players more, and we're gonna like bench players in both sides of this because it's probably gonna be a blowout. But yeah, whenever it's gonna be a blowout, like you can look at the bench players and take them, go over on them, look for easy lines that they can hit, and then another strategy we can do is say it's gonna be a close game. So now the starters are gonna play more. We're looking at starters with in around like the 10 to 20 point range. We don't really want to be going over on people that are like over 25 points just because of how little time there is in the game, and like we don't really want to be betting over on like Luca over 34 points or something like that just because like you're limited on a time frame. Any bet like 10 to 20 points over is like usually a better option. So like maybe the second or the third best player on the team. Someone that's putting up a lot of shots. Like you want them to be getting like ideally they should be getting like a field goal for every like point they have on their line. So say they got like a 17 point line, they should be getting up like 15 to 17 field goals up for you to want to take their over. So I like the points. I generally stick with points in basketball. If you're going on like assists and rebounds, you want to just be picking the really good lines, like the lines where you got like a 1 to 2 rebound or assist edge. Like, here's what I'm saying with the edges. So they got our prediction. So on props.cash, like you can use their predictions. Props.cash is a lifesaver for the NBA. They'll actually give you like pretty accurate predictions. And it'll be similar to the line, but like some of them will have an edge. So if they have an edge, it's gonna be like you want like 2 or more points. So say their prediction is 14, their line is 17. We're going under on them because we like the edge. We got a 3 point edge, so we're gonna go under on them. If we have a 1 or more rebound edge, so their projection on props.cash is 6.7. The rebound line is 5.5. We're going over on the 5.5 because that's a good edge. And like anything like over that, if they got 2 plus rebound edge or a 2 plus assist edge, like we're easily taking that. We're gonna bank on those lines a lot. And you should really like pay attention to the players, kind of learn the players, how they play, how much they shoot, like are they passers or are they shooters? Are they in the paint a lot? Are they getting rebounds? Do they try to get the rebounds? A lot of some of the really good players don't even try to get rebounds, like Shea. Like you don't even try to get rebounds. And are they like on the perimeter the whole time for rebounds? Are they the point guard when they're passing? Like at their assists, like if they're a center, they're not going to be getting that many assists, obviously, and their lines will reflect that. But just like keep in mind, like you're betting on the player, and the player is going to be the one that's going to be making you the money or losing you the money. So you want to be betting on like players that are like consistent and players that you can trust to hit whatever line it is, right? So we're gonna look at like I said, you go to FanDuel, look at the projections that they got. So they got the over under 225, spreads -7 for team A. Team A is supposed to win 116, 109. And like you can use this information to determine like how many points the players are going to score. Cause like say they're projected like 240, it's going to be a high ass scoring game. We want to go over on the players. The lines are going to be a little bit higher, but we still want to go over on them. Low scoring game is like 210, 205, 215. Um, if it's any lower than that, like they're not going to be scoring as much. The lines will reflect that. They'll go a little bit lower, but we're just going to have to like kind of see how the opponent's defense is ranking up. So like you can use the app, the score, and just look at their like defensive rating. So their defensive rating is like third in the league. Whoever's playing against them is not going to really do that well, right? So we're going to go under on some of those players. And we're also going to see who's at home. That's going to like be, um, oh, I had to sneeze, but that's going to be like implemented in the spreads. So like you can just usually use the spreads and the over under and predict the exact score with that information because those lines are very good and you don't want to be betting on over unders or spreads or money lines. Usually traps and not good to bet on and they can go either way. But I mean, you can if you want to. I don't care. Um, so we're looking at the player stats from the last like 10 to 20 games. So we're going on props.cash. We're gonna look at the last 10 to 20 games and kind of see what they're up to, right? And if you guys don't know, like props.cash is like it's like a bar graph like type of app where they'll show you the last like 10, 20, 30 games. They'll show you the information when like a player's out. They'll show you all the stats for how they're doing when the player's out, or how they're doing against a specific team. So you definitely want to use props.cash, and we're gonna look for like the last 20 games. Are they hitting like 60 to 70% of the time? If they are, and like we like the matchup, then like you got like a 70-60% chance of hitting it based on their last 20 games. And you also want to look at injuries. A good way to get like edges on the sports book is finding the injuries before the sports book like adapts to the injuries. So once you see some like injury news, say like Curry's out, so now like who else is gonna score on the Warriors? Like Wiggins, or like I don't know, their team's changing now, but Clay Thompson or something. They're gonna be going more points. And if they don't, a lot of times they don't like update it automatically or like immediately, and they'll have like 10 to 30 minutes where like there's some downtime. Then we're gonna take those good lines. There's better lines earlier in the day, so they'll drop the lines in the morning or like at midnight or something. And there's gonna be better lines earlier in the day as people like hammer like say like Curry's lines at 19 and a half. People are going to hammer that. It's going to go up like according to how many people bet on the over. So on prize picks, they adapt it really fast. So Curry's line is 19 and a half. Everyone's going over on it. It's going to go up to 20, going to go up to 20.5, go 21 by the time like game's about to start. So that's just kind of how that stuff works. It's just like a random example. It's not even like how many points he usually scores, but that's just kind of how it works. So like if you're going earlier in the day, you're gonna be able to find better lines, and you'll get better at it as you like bet more in the NBA and get more comfortable with it. Another thing you can also look at is a rebound and assist. So if you got over a one rebound assist edge, you got a 2 or 3 rebound assist edge. A lot of times these rebound assist lines are like kind of friendly for particular players that do both. And like you can find some good lines with the rebounds and assists. And they're not on every sports book, but like on prize picks and dabble, they got them for sure. And you can find some good lines there. PRA, we want like 3 point rebound assist edge on those. So three or more edge. Either way, we're gonna go over or under, depending on it. I like overs for the NBA mostly. Like overs are more fun to bet on, and they're like just kind of they're usually better in the NBA. I like trust the guys to like perform every night. For WNBA, not as much, but like you can trust the players to play pretty consistently. At least like 80-90% of the games, they're going to be playing like sort of the same. And you can trust these guys to actually perform with their statistics. Their statistics are going to be showing you all the data. You're looking at the last 20 games, their all time, their season. That's going to be showing you all the data. We just got to use that to find bets where we got like a 60 to 70, 80% chance of hitting. If we can get like in the sweet spot where we're hitting like 70% of our like player props, that's where we're gonna be making a lot of money. I'm gonna be showing you guys the math in a bit here on how much money you can make based off like your percentage of hitting. So stick around. So we want to bet lines early in the day, like I said. We want to max out the promos. We want to have a set unit amount and stick to it. So like an example unit amount could be like two mans we're doing like $8. Three mans we're doing $5. Four mans we're doing $5. Just kind of have like a set amount for each like amount of um like what mans you're doing. So you want to stick to that and not get like too out of control and be betting too much. You want to be like having a strict budget and like have a cap on how much you're gonna bet on per game or like per player. So a good way to do it is if like you got like a lock, you want to limit your lock at like $30 max on the lock because you can easily get carried away and put like $100 on one dude, and that one dude could ruin your entire day and kind of kill your momentum. Like sports betting's all about like keeping your momentum good. So like say you're up like 200 one day, next day it's really easy to lose it all just like trying to bet it all, and then and then just like fucking up, doing too many mans in your parlays, and you like lose. So you want to just keep your momentum up when you're winning. You don't want to get too carried away. You want to have like a max, so like max like $100 a day, max $30 per player. And yeah, I like the three mans personally. Three mans are my bread and butter. Um, we can also look at correlation too. So like if someone's say like points and assists are like the best correlation. So we have one player that's getting all the points, one player getting all the assists. So say we got like Halliburton over like 10 assists or something. If he's over 10 assists, that means other players are scoring from his assists. So we like to pair that like Halliburton and like say Miles Turner. Halliburton passes to Miles Turner a lot. So we're gonna go over on Miles Turner points, over on Halliburton's assist, or under. But the points and assists are very correlated. The points and points aren't necessarily as correlated as you'd think they'd be. Like, so say Halliburton 20 points, that's his line. Miles Turner's line's like 16 points. So we're going over on Miles Turner, under on Halliburton. That's not necessarily correlation there like you'd think it would be, but it's not. They could both go over, both go under. Like it doesn't really matter that they're on the same team and that there's a certain amount of points. They're not really correlated, but the assist and points are correlated. So you can look at that. Um, if you're betting on fantasy score, you want to be betting on fantasy score for like people with a lot of blocks and steals. Like if if we're going over on them, like we want to be betting on people that are getting a lot of blocks and steals, like really tall guys. We also want to be like looking at the players. Like if you don't know who a player is, you want to look them up, look at their height, look at their weight, and just kind of see like how they look and are they gonna be getting a lot of rebounds if they're 6'9", 260? Yes. Like it's just common sense. Just kind of look at who they are and look at their minutes, look at their stats. But we don't want to be betting like blindly on players we don't know about because that's how you lose. That's how you're like 50-50 on your betting or worse. So we want to actually know what's going on, know who the player is, and know like what their stats are. But you can still bet on people you don't know about. Like it's better to know the players, but that's where you really get your edge when you know the players, you know how they're performing against like good teams, you know how they're if they're on a streak at the current moment, if they're doing good recently. But yeah, so here's a parlay strategy here. So three mans on Dabble are your best friend. That's gonna be where the money is, right? Because you're getting 6x on your like $5 and you turn that into $30. So 6x on Dabble is pretty good. Three mans are still hard to hit. So don't get it twisted. Like three mans are still hard to hit. Two mans are easy to hit. So two mans, there's a strategy for two mans. You can win every time or like try to win like at least half the time. So say you're doing six two mans, you need to hit two of them to break even. If you hit three of them, you're up. You're up like a unit. So two mans, there's definitely a place for them. Like on prize picks, when you see some good lines and you don't want to get too crazy with it. Two mans are pretty good. Four mans are if you got like a taco on prize picks or you got some locks for the day. Like you want to be putting the locks on a bunch of four mans. So say you got two different guys that are like probably locks for the day. We're gonna put that on like a bunch of four mans. We're gonna put them together on like two of the four mans. We're gonna put them separate on the other two four mans, and we're gonna build out some four mans. Four mans can hit for sure. Like four mans are very possible to hit, but it's depending on how good your picks are, right? Otherwise, they're not gonna hit most of the time. But even if they hit once, like you're 10x in your money, so you're like turning $5 to $50. So four mans aren't bad. So we got 1.5 unit on the two mans. So we're doing like $8. 1 unit on the three mans, like $5. 1 unit on the four mans, $5. If you're doing a five man on Dabble, we want to do a half unit, so like 250, like $2.50. We don't want to be going too crazy on the 5-man, 6-mans because they're not going to hit like most of the time. If you're feeling really confident about your picks for the day, throw them in a 5-man by all means. But we want to be sticking with the 3-mans and the 2-mans. That's going to be hitting most of the time. That's going to be where we're getting our money. 4-mans also, you can be getting some money from that. But we want to be sticking to the lower mans. Like, that's how they get you when they're putting like the 5 or 6 mans for like 35x or some shit like that. That's where they get you. And that's where you can like just lose every single time and you're just like on a downhill trend. If you're doing the 2 and 3 mans, you're actually going to be hitting. Like you're actually going to be making some of your money back. But here is the chart here. This chart is fucking money. I made this myself. But we basically got here's like 50%, you're hitting 50% of your bets. This one's hitting 60%. This one's hitting 70%. This one's hitting 80%. So we got the 2-mans for Dabble. Like this is all on Dabble. So Dabble has the best like multipliers. So that's why I'm using Dabble here. So we got the 2-mans here, 25% chance of hitting. For a normal better, that's 50-50. Sometimes betters are worse than this. Sometimes they're like 45%. But this is like a coin flip. So say you're just betting randomly, you're gonna be 50% most of the time. So 3-mans, you got a 12.5% chance of hitting. 4-man, you got a 6% chance of hitting. But the good news is if you're hitting more consistently, like I've easily done like 70%, 80% in some nights and made a ton of money. Like I'll make like 200, 300 if I'm hitting like 70% a night. So it's very possible to be hitting like most of your picks, as long as you're like making good EV plays and using the strategies we were talking about earlier. But say we're hitting like 60% on a night and we're using a $10 sample bet size, right? So we're doing 2-mans. We're gonna be expected value of $11 to return. If we're doing 3-mans, we're expecting $13 to return. Doing 5-mans, we're expecting $16 to return. So as you go up in your win percentage, the returns are better for more legs, but don't get it twisted. Like you'll probably be 50% most of the time unless you're like a really good bettor. So like the returns for 50% are not as great, right? So like on a normal 50%, like you're expected to get $8 back from your $10, $6 back from your $10, $5 back from your $10. But if you're hitting 70% on the night and you're doing 3-mans, that is money. So you're every $10 you're betting, you're returning $21 on if you're going 70% for the night. So that's where you can double up your money, as you see here. You're doing 4-mans and you're 70%. So you got some locks. 4-mans aren't a bad play. 5-mans, you're just not gonna hit most of the time. 6-mans, you're not gonna hit most of the time. So I would stay away from them. I would just stick to the 2, 3, 4-mans. But like, say we're hitting 80% of the time. This is where you make a ton of money. Like you go 8 for 10 on your players that you pick, you can triple your money right here. So 10 to $31. You're going 81% on your 4-mans. You're getting 4 times your money. So this is a good thing about player props is like the parlays are actually like you can actually win if you're going like 70% on a night. But you can also lose it all if you're doing like 3 or 4 mans and you're not spreading out your players enough and you're going like 40%, 50% of the night. Like there's always those nights where you're not going to do like great. But when you're doing good, you're doing good with the parlays. So stick to 3-mans, stick to 2-mans, and you'll be all right. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be the video. Let's how to bet on NBA player props. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Peace out, and subscribe if you're new. Peace.